Sure, I'm going to let Sarah kind of start off with giving us some context about why we're here.
Sure. So we are Sunrise, Rhode Island, a youth movement dedicated to fighting climate change and creating millions of new jobs in the process. We've spoken with you and...
Sorry. Before we start, you cannot unfold that in here. It's just courtroom policy, they don't allow signage in the building. So, I thought they told you that at the front. Yeah. Oh,
I actually
really sorry.
called the office and multiple times and no one could tell me what we were allowed to bring in, so it actually created a lot of trouble for us. I spoke to this office twice in the last week and spoke to someone at the front desk and they asked someone else as well, and I was asking to we were trying to figure out what we could and could not bring in.
So
no
the courtroom has a policy of no signage, because we've tried to do that, we've worked with groups here and they do not allow signage as a practice, so I apologize.
That's all good.
I thought it was made for shirts. Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
of
have the
course.
shirts, so that's wonderful.
I don't want to spend too much time because we really want to hear your comments. But in the future, contact me directly. You have my information, and I can give you the kind of skinny about what our office procedures are here in the courthouse. I don't know who you spoke with.
I'm not sure. I didn't get
Okay, yeah, just in the future, reach out to me directly. We're very open and honest about our policies here as tenants of the courthouse. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so Sarah, continue.
We've spoken with you and other members of Senator Reid's staff from Washington and Rhode Island, asking for the senator to co-sponsor the joint resolution for a Green New Deal. The resolution was introduced 2 weeks ago by Representative Ocasio-Cortez and now has 11 co-sponsors in the Senate and 84 House co-sponsors, including Representative Cicilline from Rhode Island. This resolution is the only plan to tackle the climate crisis at the scale and scope necessary to create livable futures for our generation. We have called, tweeted, and emailed, and now we're here today because our futures depend on it to ask Senator Reid to stand with young people and fight for a Green New Deal. This is particularly important right now because Senator Mitch McConnell, who has taken nearly $2 million from fossil fuel companies, is trying to halt the momentum that us and our movement are building by bringing the Green New Deal on the floor of the Senate for a vote. So we need Senator Reid to take strong action that reflects that the folks of Rhode Island not only want a Green New Deal, we need a Green New Deal for our futures, and we need Senator Reid to co-sponsor in order for that to happen.
And I also just want to say we brought information sheet about the resolution. We have over 500 signatures from residents across the state who are in support and calling on our congressional delegation, including the senator, to co-sponsor, as well as a copy of the resolution itself. Thank you very much. So we're just going to go around now, and if anyone who wants to share, we're going to share just like where we're from, what our name is, where we live, our age, and why we're fighting to stop climate change. So I can start. I'm Nina, I'm 21. I live here in Providence.
I think someone's struggling.
Welcome. There's a chair right here if you want.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm Nina, I'm 21. I live here in Providence, and I am fighting to stop climate change for all the children whose futures are affected who can't be here to speak with their politicians and their representatives.
I'm here on behalf, my name is Alon. I'm 20 years old. I've lived in Providence my whole life, and I'm here on behalf of all of the wildlife, the whale people, the tree people who can't be here to speak for themselves today.
My name is Lachlan, I'm 20, I live here in Providence, and frankly, I don't think anybody wants to see climate disaster go through here.
I'm Angie, I'm from Cranston at the moment, lived various places, including Washington, D.C. many years ago, and I'm here because I'm probably the oldest one here, which is fun, because I've always been concerned about climate issues. I'm especially concerned about the latest reports and research and concern for my grandchildren.
I'm Elizabeth Lynn. I'm from Jamestown, Rhode Island, and I'm 52. I'm old. And I'm here because my 30-year-old couldn't be here today, and he's worried about his children. So he's thinking forward, and he's looking for aspirational leadership. He gets that things might be political pragmatics and things, but he needs an aspirational leader.
And if folks could just speak up so we can hear you with the noise.
Good afternoon, I'm Jade, I'm 23, and I live here in Providence, Rhode Island. I'm here on behalf of my students who couldn't be here today.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm 24. I'm a first-year medical student at Brown, and I've lived here for 5 years. And I'm here out of the hospital early because I am concerned for all of us and all of my future patients who are already at risk of increased lung disease, heart disease, cancer, developmental delays, vector-borne diseases, natural disasters. I'm panicking. Okay. But yeah, that's why I'm here.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm 20 years old. I'm in Providence, and I'm here for the people that contribute least to climate change, but bear the brunt of its impacts.
My name is Rudy. I'm 22, lifelong Providence and aspiring kelp farmer. I'm here today because I refuse to live to see the day when the Narragansett Bay can no longer sustain life.
I'm Randall. I'm from Providence. I'm 49, and I'm here because for a lot of reasons, but mainly because I like democracy, and most of you guys are politics, but I like democracy, and worried about the instability that climate change is likely to bring, and that we might lose our democratic system, our democratic union.
My name's Bennett. I'm 19 and I'm from Providence. I'm here today because I'm fighting for the people around the globe who are being displaced from their homes by conditions being made worse by climate change.
I'm Molly. I'm 18. I go to school here in Providence, but I'm from Cape Cod, and I'm here for all the people back home whose livelihoods are going back.
I'm Sarah. I'm 15 years old. I'm from North Providence, and I'm here today because a Green New Deal is the last best hope that we have for not only our state and our country, but for our entire planet and for life on this planet.
I'm Alex. I'm 22. I also live in Providence, and I'm here because I feel like I have to be. I'm here because I think that most large-scale movements require some sort of like revolution, some sort of thing that breaks people out of the mold that they're in. And I think that this is the only thing that I've heard that has the potential to do that. And I think that I'm frustrated with the fact that so many people are advising that we do this incrementally when there is no time and it's not working.
I'm Alex as well. I'm 26 from Woonsocket, born and raised there. And I'm here because life and human life is like this unique thing in the universe, and it really doesn't seem like a good idea to let big corporations and the use of fossil fuels, challenge the existence of that.
I'm Everett. I'm 18 years old. I've lived in Rhode Island my entire life. It's my home. And one day I would like to pass on this home to my children. I would like them to have a job and clean air and clean water and to enjoy Rhode Island like I have. But I haven't seen many of my politicians in Rhode Island stand up for that kind of long-term thing and stand up for me and my children when they may not be around to pay the consequences of their decisions.
Thanks everyone for sharing. So people who prepared some longer stories for us. So Bennett, do you want to kick us off? If you want to stand too, I know it's comfortable. I'll stand and sit.
So hi, I'm Bennett. I was 8 years old when I first learned that there's too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that the rising temperatures would have drastically affect our world. My third grade teacher told me that while we were in science class during our unit on global warming. If we don't change the way we treat our planet, there are going to be devastating impacts to come. At the time, I was unaware of how environmental injustices had already manifested themselves in the people around me. How those in my class, from the communities of color in Boston, had dealt with things like asthma and higher rates of toxins. At the time, I was convinced that the adults in my life who seemed to have answers for everything would be able to address this issue. So I sat back and did my part. I biked, I composted, I recycled. But as time went on, I lost hope as temperatures and emissions kept rising and nothing seemed to be getting done. I lost hope as I saw instances of the broken economy stretch itself into my backyard as a pipeline that represented and kept my community dependent on fossil fuels for decades to come. I watched as my neighbors got arrested and my politicians sued as this symbol, as the symbol for the future of my generation and those to come that was stolen from us from greedy fossil fuel corporations. I lost hope as before I could even vote, wildfires, droughts, hurricanes, and other extreme events started harming, displacing, and killing people at unprecedented rates. The resolution for the Green New Deal will address the climate crisis at the time and scope needed. The IPCC tells us that we have 12 years to drastically change the course of our economy. Our elected officials, like Senator Reid, have the choice to either join us in this fight for ambitious legislation or stay silent, complicit, while harm, injustice, and pain will slowly spread across the planet. With the Green New Deal, for the first time I have hope. Hope that I won't need to call my grandparents fearing for their lives in Florida every time a hurricane hits. Hope that the communities of color in the city that I call home won't be underwater in the decades to come. And hope that my children will live on a planet that is more equitable, cleaner, and habitable than the one we live in today.
I have a story to share. So I'm part of a generation that has grown up with the threat of climate change hanging over our heads. We have come of age knowing that our futures are at risk. As Ben just shared, that's a lot to put on the heads of children and teenagers growing up. We've also come of age in a time of challenges to our democracy, with politicians more accountable to big donors and corporations than to people like us. And that's why I'm here today, because we have no more time to waste. We cannot take small actions. We cannot rely on politicians to take our future seriously unless we hold them accountable. And we cannot continue to support politicians who ignore these threats to our future and refuse to take the bold action that we need. When I first heard about the Sunrise Movement, I assumed that any Democrats who recognized that climate change was indeed happening would be on board with the level of bold action we need to confront the climate crisis. However, many Democrats, including Senator Reid and including Senator Whitehouse, who have taken leadership on environmental issues like climate change, are not co-sponsoring this resolution or proposing other options for large-scale change. We will continue to present Senator Reid with this plan, the most ambitious plan to tackle the intertwined crises of climate change and economic and racial inequality. The joint resolution for a Green New Deal is the most ambitious plan we've seen in our lifetimes to tackle these problems at the scale and scope they require. So this is really the moment for him to make a choice. As our senior senator in Rhode Island, we are looking for him to lead on this issue. And Senator Reid's colleague, Senator Whitehouse, disappointed us again yesterday by saying that he will not support this resolution for numerous reasons that we continue to refute. They're bad reasons. He wants to work with establishment Democrats and Republicans who tout incrementalism as the solution. But incrementalism is not enough. It is clear that members of both parties have been corrupted by fossil fuel CEOs and will never take the type of action we need to tackle the climate crisis. So those are not people we want to partner with. We need our leaders in this state to step up. We're asking Senator Reid what he's waiting for. We need him to support our generation. So we're asking him whether he's going to support this best and last hope of avoiding climate catastrophe in our lifetimes, or if he's going to be caving to Mitch McConnell and the fossil fuel lobbyists. Taking this kind of action will not only protect our futures, but build a better world for everyone. Promoting green jobs, investing in and empowering frontline communities to lead in Rhode Island, across the state, across the country, across the world, and keeping people safe. And there are no other plans waiting in the wings. These politicians who are rejecting the Green New Deal are not putting forward alternatives. This is our futures, and we take this very seriously. We're not messing around. So that's why we're here today, to tell Senator Reid to get on board with the largest voting bloc in the country. We keep hearing that Rhode Island politicians are excited to see young people's enthusiasm about politics. That's what everyone says. We're so excited to have you here. But we don't really want to be here. I've been to 6 congressional offices in the past 10 days. I am a full-time student. I have jobs. We all have things we'd rather be doing here on a Thursday afternoon. We're here because we have to be. We don't just do this for fun. We're fighting for the air we breathe, the water we drink, the places we call home, and it's all on the line, and we take that very seriously. So we're demanding to be listened to and not just written off as young people excited to be engaging in our civic duty. We want to be listened to as the knowledgeable and powerful voters that we are. So we're here to ask Senator Reid again, which side is he on, and we want him to co-sponsor this resolution.
Just a quick logistical question for everyone. There's a photographer from the Providence Journal who requested to come back and photograph this meeting. I didn't want to presume to give him the okay before we talk to you all. Is that something that you're all right with? Okay, great. He just has to fill out some paperwork for the courthouse and get registered, and then he can come. I just wanted to let you all know that's why they wanted to check, because they were like, is he supposed to be here? Did they invite him? Did you? So I just wanted to check because I know we have some people who are. You're 15.
Yes.
Okay.
With your consent.
Just that's the
you guys
only thing I'm trying to make
decide.
sure is that we
Your
have. Sorry, I do a lot of photos and events with the senator, so like as soon as I heard photographer, I'm like, wait, we have someone under the age of 18, so we need to be careful.
These are the things we could probably try. So thank you for your comments.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for delivering this. It's really important for us as a staff in the state and also to the senator to hear and to see that these are real people in Rhode Island who are advocating for these issues, and we want to hear your voices. It's not just in some sort of symbolic way. So I know you've heard this a lot. We're excited that you're participating, that you're standing up for your futures and our futures. But it's not, I hope you don't feel like it's a waste of time that you're engaging in this way, because it is really, really important that we see you and that we hear from you. And I'll say this other thing too, because it's not just the people here in the room. You have friends, you have family members that can't be here today. Some of you talked about students and other coworkers that can't come during the day on a Thursday to meet with representatives from their senators or their congressperson's office. So I just want to let you know that we take your concerns and your comments very seriously. So when you call our office or you write in through the website, we're looking at all of those comments. So please let your friends, your family, your peers know that even though they can't be here today, there are real meaningful ways that they can engage with us and let us know what they're thinking. So I'll say that. I know that you've been to a few of the offices here in Rhode Island, and probably many of you are involved in the Sunrise Movement nationally too. So you've had that comment told you already, right? We're excited that you're here and that we're hearing from you. But it's not just a kind of a castaway. We do mean it because you represent people that the senator represents, and you're not just 20 people in the room. You're part of a larger movement. So thank you for doing this and taking the time to raise your voices and be here and put the effort into organizing this. We have heard from many of you through emails and phone calls, and urge you to continue reaching out and letting us know how you all feel about these issues. At this point, we're going through the comments, we're having the conversations with the senator, and he's looking at everything from all different angles. The senator prides himself on taking a very deliberate approach to what he puts his name on, and I think that's something that I, as a staff member, I really respect, but I hope you understand that it's a very deliberate process that he undertakes for this. I think we can point to a long record of work, both Senator Reid and Senator Whitehouse, particularly the national champion on climate change, but the two of them have worked incredibly hard to raise some of these issues to the forefront. So I know we will continue to do that. These are issues that are very important to Senator Reid, particularly from his perspective as the ranking member on armed services. He's looking at this from a totally different perspective too, and the real effects of climate change that are affecting our global community and creating global instability. So know these issues are extremely important to Senator Reid. They're important to us, and it's really important for us to hear from you. But the best I can do is that we are evaluating these comments and we're looking at the resolution.
So I'm just curious, so the resolution's been out now for 2 weeks. I'm just wondering what's the process in this office in terms of, and with DC in making a decision?
It's a collaborative process. The senator talks to his advisors, he talks to different stakeholders, and he can put together his opinions and understanding of the issue at level. So I can't tell you until he's made up his mind what his decision is. But right now he's in the process of evaluating his resolution.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Can I just say something? So not every Rhode Islander is in this room today, but every single one of them is threatened by climate change. Absolutely. And not everyone knows about the Green New Deal, but the people who do, 92% of Democrats, 64% of Republicans support it. This is a pretty popular resolution. I mean, if I were in his place, I'd support it just because of, the people who are supporting it, they're having that boost of like, oh, like this is a politician who cares about us. This is a politician who cares about our future.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that.
And Bennett, I wanted to say, great. Thank you for speaking as well, bringing your story. That was you were clearly very emotional about it, and I really appreciate that because I know it can be a little crazy at times trying to bring in comments to this kind of circumstances in these settings. And Mina, of course, thank you. I know there were. Did you have a question there? I thought I saw you raise your hand or something.
Hold on. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just curious if you're at liberty to tell us some of the stakeholders the senator's been able to discuss the resolution with, or maybe not able to say that.
Well, I mean, I think that the senator's just having these conversations with his colleagues, with his advisors, looking from other organizations that are also, looking at the Green New Deal. So it's a process of trying to understand where our constituents are at, but also organizations that, the Sunrise Rhode Island movement isn't the only environmental organization that has an opinion on the Green New Deal. So we're doing our job to try and suss out, where everyone stands and what the feedback is from across the spectrum of the community that we interact with on environmental issues. So it's really it is a very thoughtful process that he undertakes.
And it also involves the senators out and about from Rhode Island many days and hears from all sorts of constituents, people all the time. It can be in line at Dave's Market, and he will get an earful about a variety of issues, and he'll follow up with us and the other staff to make sure that everyone's opinion is being heard and reviewed, and that he's making the most thoughtful and deliberative approach to try and do what's best for Rhode Island and for all the constituents. So, with things like this, and also reaching out and talking to our office that really help us inform that process and guide the dialogue. So, you guys are doing all the right things in the best way possible, and we really appreciate it.
And do you think that you could share some of the other opinions he's received about the Green New Deal, like some of the negative perspectives or some of the people who really support it or their reasoning?
Me personally, I would have to defer to our policy staff when having those conversations. From the perspective here in Rhode Island, I've heard from the organization.
I haven't heard. I've been traveling with the senator. I have not seen anyone come up to him address the negative sides of the deal, of the Green New Deal. So,
we're actually, there's a lot of work happening at the state level right now. We are getting a lot of partner organizations sign on with their endorsement of the federal Green New Deal. There's also a lot of work happening in the policy right now in the State House actually to draft a Green New Deal for Rhode Island. And there's a lot of community organizations involved with that work.
Do you have a list of community organizations?
Yeah, I can get that to you.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. Because that would help us inform our decision. Yep. Sorry.
I was listening to what you said about the process, and I'm definitely never one to criticize people for being thoughtful about things, but I'm just want to amplify what some of the other people have said, that we do want to have a solution. There's a limited amount of time left. And so far, we've not only has Senator Reid not signed on to the Green New Deal, but which has been out for some time, formally for the last couple of weeks and formally for longer, but also we haven't heard any proposed solution from Senator Whitehouse that's binding, that would have the required scale, that would be effective on the same timeline or on any timeline. So from my perspective, what I'm hearing from Senator Reid is silence on this. And I don't mind him taking thought to the side, but I am surprised that by 2019, he has not gotten behind any definite plan of any kind. And I'm wondering, when is that going to change?
I'm not a policy expert in this area, unfortunately. I would be able to give you much more information if I was, but what I do know is that the senator is always doing what he what he can do best for the long-term benefit of Rhode Island, including parts of it, the economic development we talked about, it being a major portion of the Green New Deal and other areas. So I think that and as far as you mentioned White House, we don't really control what White House does. We're with Senator Reed's office, so we can't really speak to that, unfortunately. I wanted to. It's a common. The delegation works so well together on so many issues for Rhode Island that it's common that people are like, they're all like on the same page on all these things, and that is usually the case. So.
Thank you for your comments.
So just to close, I'd just like to bring it back since you all keep saying that you're not the policy team who's necessarily making these decisions or in these closed discussions. We have been unable to secure time on the phone with DC staff who are working on this policy more closely. Mm-hmm. So can we have an answer by the end of tomorrow about co-sponsorship? Like in writing, we are asking for a statement on the Senator's position on this resolution. It's been now 2 weeks. This is not the first time he's hearing it, and we think it's very fair for us to be asking by tomorrow, end of day, for a written statement on his position.
We'll pass that along.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.